So hi there. I've been around for a while. It's been about 5 years to do anything building wise, but apart from the old CNC machine that you can see over there in the background behind me, but I'm on something a bit bigger now. Thinking about retirement, seeing the world a bit. So I've started building an expedition pod for the back of a four-wheel drive truck, probably an ex-army vehicle, perhaps a Hino or a Scania, I'm not quite sure yet, but it's about 5.6 metres long by the width of a container, and it's all started. Day two I've come a bit more prepared because as you can see down there, I've got some boots on today. Grinders and welders don't go that well with sandals. I burn my feet a bit, so I'm adhering to all workplace health and safety standards, keeping everything all legit and everything, so we all should go pretty well. So far I haven't done much. I've just done these bits here. So they're the end bits. The container connectors will go onto those, as we have down here, 2 container connectors. Very shortly I should have a sort of a base, sort of bit of a build. So it's a funny project because it involves, as you can see, big heavy pieces of steel. Inside that I'll build composite fiberglass panels that go inside that, and then inside that there'll be all the usual joinery fit out. They're like a big kitchen basically, what I'm putting inside. The outdoor's going to look a bit like an army vehicle, you know, a bit in disguise. People won't really know that it's sort of a luxury camper, recreational vehicle, as Americans, our lovely American friends call them. But inside it's going to be pretty nice, I hope. It's going to be good, nice and comfortable. You know, you slave out in the sun all your life. I think you deserve a bit of air conditioning, a bit of hot water, shower, you know, nice way to cook. I think we all deserve that. So, well, I'm just about buggered for the day. I've got the edge beam down. It's about 300 kilos worth there, so there's no manual handling now. I've got the 2 intermediates to put in, and I've got a little bit more grinding to get it fitted properly. It's a little bit out in places, so I'll get that ground down and get that perfect, and then I can start welding. This base it's got quite big. It's all 6mm wall. It's got to be rigid because I want the pod to be totally rigid and the truck chassis to take the bending movement up. So I'm making the base of it super strong. Well, I've been on about 4 or 5 days now, grinding and welding and all the rest of it. So I've got the floor base done, and I've got all the other, we'll spin around here, got all the other steel work for the sort of exoskeleton, I think you call it, made. So I've got to weld the back of this up first. So I'll lift that with the forklift, and then I've got a lot of sanding, getting that blue paint off so I can get a really good coat of epoxy paint onto it. So I want to do it properly. As you can see, boots, long pants, long sleeves, the works now, because you know, you've got to be worried about safety, haven't you? Yeah, I'll show you a couple of bits. Ice going all over the place. I've worked out a bit of a design on SketchUp, so this is what the truck's going to sort of look like at the end of the day now. The base truck that I've gone for is about a 13-tonne truck. Generally the 13-tonne trucks have a bigger wheel diameter, and that's what I think is important here. You know, 4x4 is good, but to get that comfort and the ability to ride over these rough logging roads and back roads and roads you generally find in third world countries, the bigger 22.5 inch rim is much more comfortable. The trucks here in Australia that meet that specification, apart from the new ones of course that I can't afford, are ex-military trucks generally. One of them is the Scania P114, which is a four-wheel drive truck used by the Australian Defence Force. These were built in about 2002, and they're rigid trucks. They're a full 4x4 truck, but not like a Unimog. Also in Australia there's the Hino 1322, used for elevated work platforms for power companies basically. It's also a possibility, and the Defence Force has got quite a few of those that will come up for disposal soon. Of course there's the modern trucks like the Artago Mercedes, really out of my price range. The other option is to go old. So there are quite a few of these Mans in Australia, 4x4 Mans from 1985. It's not a bad idea, but you get them fairly cheaply. But then you'd have to spend a lot of money on them to get them up to a good standard. And they're also only 90 kilometres an hour, which it could be a bit of a problem. So I finished that base now. It's all primed and it's looking good. Touched up all the welding that looked pretty good as well. So now I'm on to the next part of it, which is the sort of, I guess you'd call it an exoskeleton, where the fiberglass composite panels go in around or in between. That's a couple of days work I reckon. I've got some big holes to bore for the lifting points on the top corners. I'm not putting container connectors on the top corners, I'm just putting a sort of a lifting point on each corner so it can actually be lifted by a crane onto the back of the truck or whatever. So we'll see how it goes. There's a fair bit of work in these big 20mm holes. It's a fair bit of boring. It takes me a while to do that, so it'll take quite a few hours then welding it up, and it'll take quite a few more hours to get it all squared and straight. It doesn't happen automatically. You put some stuff and you've got to fix it and adjust it and play around with it. Plus most of the welds are quite difficult now because I can't sort of turn them to a place where it makes them easy. I've got some unders and some ups and downs, so but just a matter of having a go at them, I guess, and seeing what I end up with. So I think this is end of week 3 now. Things are going well. So I've got the superstructure up and the lot of tags and things happening now. So progress is being made. I'm just about finishing the steel work now, so it gives you a good idea of what it's going to look like. So I put some braces down the bottom corners and on the top corners. I've doubled the end beam. I think I'll put basically a container door on this end, and inside the container door there'll be a little garage down the bottom, and then the bed on top of that with a big window so you can sleep at night with the container doors open. You've got a glass window, and then when it's all closed down it just it looks not a lot like a RV, more like it's just a sort of a commercial container. I'll put some tags up there, and tags down the bottom, and there to have the fiberglass composite panels that are going to be located within the fiberglass. So more headway is being made. I've got most of the steel work done, and as you can see I've got in the flare there, I've got the rear doors. I'm just waiting for the hinges and the the lock, so those rear doors will end up looking like the rear of a container door. So it's sort of playing in people's minds a bit. Makes it look like it's sort of a utilitarian, work vehicle. In actual fact, it's really an out and out RV. So we're at the end of this episode now, and as you can see behind me, I'm started on the flooring. That's for the next episode. You can see behind me there, I've got a lot of XPS high density foam board. If you want to buy some. Over this side, we've got that product down there, the white sheets. That's actually this. I've got a bit of it here. It's PVC foam board. Quite interesting stuff. The 16mm thick stuff you'd use for a kitchen particle board replacement. You basically build a kitchen out of this stuff and put it in the middle of a swimming pool, and it'll just be fine. Another product I've got there filling out the warehouse is that fiberglass grating. So I'm building walkways and wilderness areas, all sorts of places. If you need a permanent walkway, it doesn't affected by fire or humidity, which is starting to get up a little bit at the moment up here. So that's the sort of thing you'd use that for. So all's good now. We'll see you at the next episode.